Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Thursday morning. All right, if you are hopping on live, say hello. I'm so happy to be talking today about Recover Strong, why recovery helps you stay active for life. I'm Liz Philippone, and I help people stay strong, confident, and independent by combining evidence-based training with mindful movement and nervous system support. And I just want to know, when you think of recovery, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Just say that in the comments. If you're watching right now, put it in the comments. If you're watching the replay, put it in the comments. I love to see what people say, whether it is sleep, stretching, walking, drinking water. I'm not really sure. Maybe you don't even know what recovery, when you think of recovery, and of course it can also mean, recovery from substance, right? Substances as well. I mean, that is also another term for it too. I'm not scared to bring that topic up, but let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. So just doing a little test on my volume here as I get into this topic. So thank you so much for joining me. If you are new to my Facebook group or new to my YouTube channel, especially my YouTube channel, please hit like or subscribe to my channel. I really love it when people subscribe, or at least like if they like my content, or even if they don't. Even if you don't like it, even if you give me a thumbs down, it still kind of gives me a little bit more jump into the algorithm. But yeah, please subscribe. If you're part of my Facebook group, thank you so much for being a part of Mindfully Fit for Life. And if these topics that I talk about that you like, or perhaps might help somebody else in your life, please invite them to the Facebook group. It's a free group. It's totally free, okay? So there we go. I'm going to jump right into this topic, and I'm so excited to share some other things with you towards the end of this video. So please stay tuned. So for a long time, and I say for some time, I thought progress came from doing more, more workouts, more intensity, more pushing. But over the years, especially as I've gotten into my 40s, late 40s now, especially after 45, I've learned that recovery is just as important as the workout itself. Man, have I changed my routine. And I've probably talked about this in other live streams, but I am going to talk about it a little bit today. I am going to share that with you because it's a myth, right? There is this recovery myth that I'm going to dispel a little bit for you because for years, I thought if I wasn't doing something, actively, getting to my goal, whatever, whether it was weight loss or muscle building or just, that's usually what I was working out for. It was either weight loss or muscle change, right? I wanted to change my muscle, my composition, my body composition. There is a myth to all that, right? So I thought you had to just keep going, right? And mind you, I'm a yoga teacher, right? And I did yoga on top of it all too. So I thought, oh, I'm doing my yoga. I'm also teaching my yoga. So I'm still stretching and I'm getting, that recovery in, because I figured, well, that's recovery. I'm stretching out my muscles. That's what I thought. So, it's like, if you're not sweating, you're not making progress, right? That's like a common misbelief, right? Rest feels unproductive. Who's there, right? Let me know in the comments if that is you. Taking a day off means you're falling behind. When I would take a day off from working out, I kind of got anxious. Yeah, kind of got anxious about it. Yeah, it got me into some trouble, let me just tell you. And I think a lot of it was just what I was hearing out there from either social media or other fitness coaches, trainers, whatever, right? Because there's somebody out there preaching something, right? Just like me here on my channel, in my Facebook group, just preaching something about exercise and movement and how important it is in your life. And it really is. But, I have talked about recovery, recovery many times. And, I needed to reiterate it because it's a good reminder to myself. And I'm going to tell you something, especially during COVID. My gosh, when COVID hit and, everything shut down and we all went virtual, I went virtual, started just teaching stuff. I was teaching every day online. And mind you, I was doing the things. I was doing the workouts. It wasn't like now when I do virtual training, I'm coaching most of the time. I'm demoing. I'm doing things like that. I'm making sure my people know what to do in a virtual group training session. But I'm not doing it the whole time, man. I'm not. Because when I was doing it every day, 2 times a day, maybe sometimes 3 times a day, I didn't realize how much inflammation I was putting on my body. I didn't know how much wear and tear I was putting on my body. I kind of forgot about that element. And, it's kind of embarrassing to admit it, but hey, I'm going to be transparent here. I really forgot that, I kind of needed rest. And what is this doing to my body to do this every day for like months? Just going to take a pause on that because, wow, I said that out loud. I've said it out loud before, but I'm saying it out loud online that I was doing way too much. And that's not a really good model, right? I didn't want to teach people that. And I was giving this impression of like, we got to do this every day so we can stay sane, right? And that was my whole thing. Got to stay sane through this whole COVID thing. And you know what? I'm not like beating myself up over it because that was a tough time, right? And I hate to put that out there, make you go back to those because that was a tough time for so many people in so many different situations. But that's basically what I was doing. I was just like, got to keep going. But, I could have been doing other things probably, like resting, my mental health, right? That was probably my way of coping with the situation of the world when COVID hit and we were in that lockdown, shutdown period, right? That's what I did, I think, to cope. Now that's what I did. I'm just going to say that. So let me know what you think of that, right? And share, please. Share what, if you can relate to that, I would love to hear that because I know I'm not alone in that one for sure. I talked to other instructors out there and I was really lucky to have one instructor, fitness professional, also a mentor and really good friend of mine asked me one day, is this too much in your body? Like, are you getting some rest in there? Like the fact that she even posed that question, I was like, holy shit, no. I'm doing this every freaking day. There's not one day where I'm not doing it. So on that note, I'm going to reframe a little bit of this. Reframing this whole recovery myth that you have to be doing. Recovery isn't about doing nothing. It's about giving your body what it needs so it can come back stronger. What happened to me is my neck all of a sudden went out of whack. My hip, my low back. Oh my God. That's when my low back started my whole months and years of low back issues, right? I'm finally back to a place now where my low back is a lot better, but my energy was drained. I didn't realize that I was just draining myself out. I wasn't like letting, I was causing more inflammation in my body and then prone to injury. And I did. I threw my back out, couldn't do anything for a week. And you know what? I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that back injury, believe it or not, because I couldn't do anything. Like the pain that was involved in that, to have my back locked up and could not bend over, I could not move. That was a wake-up call for me to be like, I really, wow, right? And then to have my doctor, my chiropractor be like, well, what have you been doing? And then being embarrassed to even tell her everything I was doing, because I knew what she was going to say. That's too much. I was doing my own workouts on top of teaching classes. Come on, right? So what did I learn out of that? Just feeling so drained, and that now I've learned that my body responds so much better when I rest it. It actually gets stronger. It actually recovers better. So then when I go to do a workout, I don't injure myself the way I was injuring myself when I would do a workout. So let me know in the comments. I know I talked a lot about that, but let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you, or hey, if you've been like me, yeah, and you've done those types of things. So moving on. What does recovery really do? This is what it does. Recovery supports much more than sore muscles, that's for sure. So what it helps is muscles rebuild after strength training, right? Your muscles need time to repair so that they can get stronger, right? After a weight training session. The nervous system can shift out of fight or flight, right? Out of that sympathetic nervous system state where you're in that, more stress hormones are going, right? When we are fight or flight, we're trying to problem solve something. There's been an emergency, big stuff's happening, right? We're in this fight or flight mode. We got to solve problems, right? Whether you're at your job or wherever, right? It can shift us out of that fight or flight state and go into a more relaxation state. I've talked about this in previous live streams. Go check out some of my ones I did in May, or I think in the springtime. You'll see it. There are some things about recovery in there. It helps restore our energy, improve balance and coordination, reduce stiffness. I was getting so stiff, right? And I was like, why am I getting so stiff? I teach yoga and I do, and it was like, no, it was something else going on there. And then recovery also helps you stay consistent because you feel better, right? You feel so much better because you're giving yourself these different recovery time so that you feel better and you look forward to doing more stuff. So the goal isn't to recover so you can do more workouts. All right, I'm going to say that. It's to recover so that you have more energy for the life you want to live, for the things that you want to do. Okay. So, and this month is, and last month I've talked about travel and summer and all that stuff, right? We want to be recovered so that we can go on that hike. We can go on those excursions, right? Yeah. So here are 5 simple ways to recover a little bit better. I'm going to share with you, and then I'm going to share something that you can dive into if you want. Okay, so number 1 is prioritize sleep. Right? It's so easy to say, right? So easy to say, right? But it is important. Talk about why, I could go into so many reasons why we're not sleeping right, but quality of sleep really does matter for recovery, energy, and muscle repair. Okay, so when our bodies fully rest, those hormones, those different chemical processes that happen when we sleep, those are the chemical processes that kick in to help, recover our fatigue in our muscles, or the stress of the day, or, basically, in a nutshell, those things, right? Just from our day. Like, I'm not going to go into super detail of it, but from our day, that's the time. And when we're not sleeping well because of, various reasons, right? Sometimes it is that stress, right? That wakes us up in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's hormone fluctuations, right? If you're a woman and you're going through perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, sleep gets disrupted quite frequently. Okay, but prioritize it, right? Prioritize it, meaning what can I do to help myself sleep better? And some of these things, the rest of these things I'm going to go into are going to help sleep. But prioritizing sleep, meaning set a proper bedtime for yourself and a bedtime routine. Don't be watching the news laying in bed before you go to bed, right? Number 2, keep moving, okay? Keep moving. In other words, gentle movement. I'm not saying get your workouts in, go crazy, but walking, I have found if I walk in the evening, as long as it's not, freezing, but in the summertime it's easy, right? But walking, stretching, or some kind of other mobility work helps your body recover as well. I found that when I go for like an evening walk, sometimes it's a relaxing walk, not one where I'm like trying to get my cardio and aerobic in. A calming walk after dinner, I actually sleep pretty good after that. Having, maybe you stretch, right? Sometimes I sometimes stretch at night. I don't do it every night, but sometimes if I'm feeling really worked, just tension in my muscles, whether it's my hips or my back or whatever, I will get on the floor in my living room with my foam roller. Usually my foam roller, it's sitting there all the time to remind me you might need that. And I usually do. So either rolling out my muscles or getting on the floor and just stretching, right? And sometimes my dog and my cat, they kind of get involved too with that. So, and sometimes it's just like sitting upright while you're watching television and just rolling your shoulders. Go ahead and just roll your shoulders out with me. If you're not driving or if you're not doing anything, join me. But just rolling out the shoulders, just rolling them, moving them a little bit, so gentle. And then going the other way, just moving a little bit there, maybe just turning your head, rotating your neck, stretching your neck. I'm telling you, it's so small and you think it's nothing. It makes a huge difference. It does relax you because the other thing too is that it's getting your mind getting out of your head and more into areas of your body. So you can at least give yourself a brain break. But things like that really do help. Number 3, hydrate. Make sure you're getting your water in. And water, of course, we know is important because we are made up mostly of water, right? Our organs need water to function properly, to carry different hormones and chemical processes, right, to different parts of the body, right? It does help things move along. Or if you're on medication, it helps flush that medication through your system, right? But don't forget about electrolytes either, right? I drink a hydration drink. It's called Hydrate and Detox, and it's so delicious. I drink it every morning, and it gives my body just those electrolytes to help move things along, if you know what I mean. Okay. Nourish your body. That's the next one. So nourishing your body, I'm talking nutrition, right? Are you getting proper protein intake, right? I find protein, and this was told to me when I was being treated for anxiety and depression. I remember my therapist telling me, like, protein can really help level out your cortisol, your sugars, mostly your sugars. Making sure you have protein and feeling satiated, staying away from like high sugary things, high carby things, processed foods, right? can make us all hyped up and cause more stress, because those things contribute to more inflammation, especially sugar, especially processed sugar. Not so much like, I mean, and I could be like saying the wrong thing here, but like I would choose like fruit over like, other types of sugary things, right? If you need sugary things, but those cause more inflammation. So put more stress on the body. So making sure that you nourish your body, eating healthy foods, whole foods, that kind of a thing, that's going to help support your recovery after workouts too. And then the last one here is calming your nervous system. Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. And it's part of what I teach in my Power Up Your Strength program. I talk to my clients and educate them a lot on why it's important to breathe, to tend to your nervous system. Because I could go into it, right? I have a whole training on a whole live stream on this, why we need to calm our nervous system. But if we're always in this high stress state, there is no room for your body to recover. Your body's just on, because it's waiting for the next thing to attack it or come at you, right? You're not like leveling out a little bit. You're not telling your nervous system, okay, it's now time. Everything is cool. Everything is calm. Everything is done that needs to be done, right? And now it's time to relax, right? So when we do that, that's when the body can recover more, right? So it could be things like deep breathing, walking outdoors, right? Don't take your things with you if you can't. If you don't have to, keep your phone at home so it's not going to bug you every 2 seconds. Gentle stretching. And I know I mentioned you can stretch in front of the TV. Try doing it with the TV off. Try doing it with maybe some nice music on, right? Yeah. And then that way you're just focusing on your body and on the stretching. Yeah. Quiet time without screens. I love that. And that's like that can be like meditation, but I sometimes just sit and just eat my meal, right? Or drink my tea. Not looking at my phone, just looking out the window, or maybe I'm sitting outside and I'm just looking outside. Like that's all I'm doing. Journaling, I do that too. Giving a good old brain dump is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Okay, so let's just try a quick little breathing exercise. Okay, so if you can stop what you're doing, or if you can't, just come back to this. So if you're sitting, have your feet flat on the floor, sitting nice and upright. If you're standing, you can do that too. Just feet flat on the floor, shoulders back. Close your eyes and go ahead, take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. 2 more like that. When you inhale, really expand the chest, the rib cage. Exhale. And just give me 1 more like that. When you're ready, open your eyes, just let your breathing go back to that normal cadence. Okay, so let me know in the comments how you feel now. Were you thinking about everything of today in that like 30 to 60 second exercise? Right? Were you really thinking of anything else? Let me know. I want to know. So to close this out, recovery isn't something you earn after working hard enough. Okay, I want you to know that. It's not something you earned. It's something your body needs in order to keep showing up for the things that you want to do. for your goals, for your life, whatever, okay, for your health, okay? So what's one thing you could do this week to help your body recover a little better? All right. Again, I want you to share that in the comments. I really like these things to be interactive. They're super fun. So let me know in the comments for that. And I am going to give you an opportunity here to recover, to calm your nervous system. All right. So one thing I learned is that recovery isn't only physical, it's mental and emotional too. Okay. So when our nervous system is constantly in overdrive, it's harder to recover, to sleep, and feel energized, even if we're exercising. Okay. Not that exercising doesn't relieve stress, it does. But don't forget, it also puts stress on the body as well, positive and negative, right? So what else? That's why I asked, like, what are you going to do this week to help yourself? So I'm going to just quickly talk about, and I know some of you out there have done this program, Step Out of Stress. It's my 5-day nervous system reset. And I have opened it up. It is a self-paced mini program. All right. There's no start date to it. I just, this is something that you can do like so easily and so quickly on your own and get amazing results from. Okay. So my Step Out of Stress, it's a 5-day nervous system reset. Excuse me. This is for people who feel overwhelmed or mentally exhausted, want a simple, realistic way to calm their nervous system. They're looking to build a sustainable recovery routine, not another intense fitness challenge, okay? So if that sounds like something that you've been looking for or need, then this little program is for you. It's not like an hour-long video every day. These are very short little videos that you do daily for 5 days, okay? And there's some gentle movement. There is breathing exercises, mindfulness practices, and then just simple tools that can be used long after the 5 days are over. So many of my participants, and I do check up on them, still do those breathing exercises. It's like 1 to 2 minute breathing exercises. And some of them have told me, like, wow, it makes such a difference in my overall mood before I start my day or when I end my day. The simple stretches that I share in those videos, there's just so many little things that you can do that are going to build and go a long, long way. So that is open for purchase. It is a whopping, you ready for this? It's a whopping $39. And I am going to raise the price eventually because there's always things I want to improve in it. But right now it's only $39 for 5 days. It's all online. And I'm going to share the link in the comments. So if you just want to sign up for that and you do it at your leisure, it's going to make a huge difference in your life. Okay. If you need more recovery tools, that is the program for you. And it's just a taste of what I teach in my Power Up Your Strength program. But the taste alone of what I offer in this 5-day program is huge. Okay. It's so small, it's huge. So go ahead and I'm going to put that link in the comments for you to sign up for that. And then of course, I am still excited to be offering my Strong Foundations workshop. I am looking into September. I'm just trying to get my schedule nailed down right now because, I got to make sure that things are set in September for, I don't want to say the word school season, but I'm still looking at scheduling for that, but I'm hitting that in September. My Strong Foundations workshop. This is an opportunity to experience my 12-week Power Up Your Strength program. It's going to be an in-person live experience. Okay, it's going to be about a 2.5 hour workshop. So if you're interested in that, comment strong and I will send you more information. So with that being said, I'm going to go because I'm going to go way over my time here. And so let's see. Let me know in the comments, what is one thing you're going to do to recover better this week? I would really love to know that. Okay, which area of recovery could you use the most attention right now? Okay, is it sleep, hydration, stress management, movement, and mobility? I want you to just pick one. If you're like saying all of them, you're just going to stress yourself out even more. Just pick one and let me know in the comments. All right, everyone, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon.